The story is more horrifying than the one John Oliver talked about in the case of pig slaughter or the online scam that victimized 100 women. Honestly, I'm a fan of the Last Week Tonight program, and I always watch John Oliver. In his latest video, John Oliver humorously discussed the issue of online fraud, and I appreciate his approach. However, in reality, these stories are incredibly heartbreaking when you see innocent people falling into the merciless traps set by heartless criminals. 8 Nigerian men executed a massive international fraud operation that ensnared 100 victims. South African courts have charged them with online dating scams. The investigation involved the United States Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, and Interpol. The U.S. Authorities, where most of the victims reside, have requested their extradition. These 8 men are accused of defrauding over 100 victims of nearly $7 million over the past decade. None of them have commented on the charges against them. According to police spokesperson Katlego Mogale, this is the largest arrest operation of its kind in South Africa. The suspects, aged between 33 and 52, were apprehended in Cape Town on Tuesday after a legal request from the United States. The FBI and the U.S. Secret Service led the investigation, working with South African authorities, including the elite police unit known as the Hawks. The men are wanted in Texas and New Jersey for various crimes, including conspiracy to commit electronic fraud, money laundering, and aggravated identity theft. In opposition to bail, prosecutor Robin Lewis claimed that the men are members of the Black Axe Gang, an organized cross-border crime syndicate originating in Nigeria, which includes money laundering through various accounts. The state argued that the men were likely to flee because they still had access to the accounts they allegedly used. If convicted, the suspects face up to 20 years in prison. These fabricated bad stories allegedly exploited victims through dating websites using fake identities. Many of the victims, often widows or divorcees from around the world, believed they were in genuine romantic relationships. Colonel Mogale stated that the suspects fabricated horrifying stories to their victims, such as needing money for taxes to release an inheritance, essential travel abroad, outstanding debts, and so on, and then they stole money from the victims. These fraudsters terrorized and berated their victims, leaving their lives in ruins before disappearing. One of the neighbors, who spoke to the BBC on condition of anonymity, was shocked to learn that the 2 brothers were accused of being members of a Nigerian criminal gang. He said they were friendly and had never committed any crimes in the area. Once a week, approximately 10 luxury cars would arrive and depart within a few hours. These cars included 2021 Mercedes-Benz, Jeep, and Ferrari. Their attire suggested affluence. The neighbor was awakened by barking dogs when the brothers' house was raided on Tuesday. About 60 officers from various police units spent around 6 hours collecting evidence from the property. 7 other properties in the same neighborhood were also raided. Some of the men had not been legally present in South Africa since their passports expired. The state argued that if the men were released on bail, they could manipulate digital evidence. A full bail application has been submitted for next Tuesday and Thursday, pending a hearing for the suspect's extradition. According to South Africa's Times Live, the Hawks were searching for a 9th man linked to the case. Another story involves a Chinese student. A Chinese student who fell victim to an online virtual kidnapping was found alive but cold and scared in a tent in Utah's forests, as announced by the U.S. police. Kai Zhang, 17 years old, was reported missing on Thursday after his parents in China informed the school hosting him in Riverdale, Utah, as part of a student exchange program. They believed he had been abducted, and a ransom of $80,000 was demanded. The case followed a typical pattern of online kidnapping, where the kidnappers instruct the victim to isolate themselves and provide photos that make it appear as though they are being held captive. The photo is then sent to the victim's family for extortion through payment. Victims usually comply, fearing harm to their families. Stay safe and vigilant, my friends. This was George from the program What's Up?